Why would the minister not want to answer the questions of her constituents?
She has. And
well, we have a couple more questions.
Your cooperation.
There's many more questions to ask.
Bye-bye.
I spoke with Grand Chief Alvin Fiddler of the Anishinaabe Nation, who represents many other nations, including the Whitewater Lake, which was, as you know, completely destroyed by fire. They're not getting enough information. They're not even getting a call or a sufficient response to their questions, even in the early stages of this fire. It's not these fires, rather. It's not just one person saying that. How do you respond to that?
Well, I personally had 2 calls with Chief Fiddler, and one of those was this morning. It was rescheduled from yesterday. I think him and I and our teams have had great conversations. We were doing some follow-up from last week's request and also talking about, looking at the capacity for Ontario as a host. And, I want to reassure the chief and others that we have hotel availability in Ontario for over 7,000 people. And I think it's also important to, look back to last summer's fire season, when Ontario safely evacuated 12,000 people, and that included people from Manitoba. So we do have the capacity in the system to ensure that evacuees are safe and supported and have the wraparound services in place when they are evacuated from their homes. And so I think I take that very seriously, and working with Chief Fiddler and hearing directly from impacted communities is important.
But I wonder, Minister, why these conversations weren't happening frequently and clearly with the information that people needed, the response people needed last week. Again, what we've heard over and over again is that their calls were not heeded. Some say they weren't believed, or when they did get through, that you and others didn't have the information they needed, that there was no preparedness.
Well, I can't speak to other ministries or to the federal government, but I can ensure...
No, they're speaking about the province. They're speaking about the province separately about the federal government. But I'm asking you about their concerns about what the province did not do in the first days when they knew these fires were approaching, before Collins was destroyed, before other communities were destroyed.
No, understood. But what I'm saying is, because there's 2 responses from the province, there's the Ministry of Natural Resources, who is dealing directly with fires. There's the Ministry of Emergency Preparedness and Response, and we're dealing with the evacuation. So my department has, as I said, coordination calls every day with the communities to ensure that we're working hand in hand and that they have the most up-to-date information to ensure that if their community is going to be evacuated, that we're prepared prior to that, so we know where they're going at that time and make all the arrangements around that. So we're not leaving that to the very end with those communities. We prepare them in advance for that.
Hi there. Let's just wrap it up now, if that's okay.
Well, we still have a few more questions. We weren't given a hard time. I'm sorry, I'm not sure who that is on the line. I have a couple more questions to ask, but we'll be done within 10 minutes, if that's all right, within 3 more minutes.
No, it's been 8 minutes. Thank you so much for your questions.
Why would the minister not want to answer the questions of her constituents?
She has. And
well, we have a couple more questions.
Your cooperation.
There's many more questions to ask.
Bye-bye.